Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a new protocol that's aiming to completely reshape how AI interacts with the internet. We're talking about a huge shift, from AIs having to pretend they're human to them becoming actual first-class citizens of the web. So let's start with a basic question. When you ask an AI assistant to, say, book a flight for you, what is actually happening behind the scenes? Well, it turns out it's not nearly as elegant as you might imagine.
We picture this sleek, intelligent process going on. But the reality? It's a lot messier. Right now, most AI agents are basically acting like a clumsy robot. They're frantically taking screenshots of the page, guessing where the Book Now button is, and trying to make sense of raw HTML code. One source even called it a headless chicken.
And this whole way of doing things is just super fragile. For one, it's slow and it's expensive. It burns through tons of costly AI tokens. That's the computational juice these models run on, just to understand a single web page. And because it's all based on the visual layout, the second a website changes its design, poof, the AI is totally lost.
Okay, so a new solution is starting to emerge to fix all this. It's called the Web Model Context Protocol, or WebMCP for short. It's a proposed new standard for the web, co-authored by engineers from both Google and Microsoft, and it's designed to completely change this whole dynamic.
And this quote from a Google developer really hits the nail on the head. Instead of the AI having to guess and scrape the screen, the website itself can just offer up what it calls structured tools. Think of it like a clear, simple menu of actions the AI can take. And that, of course, makes the whole thing way faster and way more reliable. So the most important thing to get here is that this protocol lets the AI just drop the act. It doesn't have to look at the pretty interface. It can talk directly to the website's core functions. It's a huge leap from this visual simulation to a real, logical, direct connection.
And the cool part is, putting this into practice is meant to be pretty straightforward for developers. They've got two main ways to do it. The first is declarative. It's super simple. You just add a couple of new tags to your existing web forms. Done. For more complex stuff, there's the imperative method, which lets them use JavaScript to register custom, powerful tools for an AI.
And the results? The efficiency gains are just massive. Because the AI isn't wasting all that energy just analyzing pixels on a screen, early tests are showing something like a 67% reduction in the computational work. For you, that means faster answers. For developers, that means way lower costs.
Now, you might have actually heard of a similar protocol called MCP. So what's the difference? Well, the original MCP is for backend, server-to-server stuff. Machines talking to each other in a data center. WebMCP is different. It runs right there in your browser tab on your computer. It even shares your login session. So the easy way to think about it is MCP is for when no human is watching, and WebMCP is for when you are right there watching the action happen.
Okay. But here's the thing, WebMCP isn't just some neat little feature, it's actually the final piece of a much bigger puzzle. It unlocks a whole new way of building things on the web.
You see, for years, web apps have been built kinda like a messy layer cake. The user interface, the buttons you click, had its own API. The back-end AI had its own set of tools. Other agents had their own protocol, and they were all trying to access the exact same business logic through separate, complicated, and redundant pipes. It was a mess.
So this new model just throws that whole mess out the window and replaces it with a central hub. Instead of building 4 different pipelines, you just define a tool like book a flight one time. You give it a name, you describe what information it needs, and you write the code for it.
And this is where the magic really happens. From that one single definition in the hub, you can now serve 4 different things. The company's own backend AI, the website buttons that you click on, other AIs talking server to server, and now, thanks to WebMCP, external AI agents that are visiting your browser. You build the tool once and it can power everything. And as one developer put it, this changes everything. The whole mindset flips. You don't build a separate API and then make a tool for your AI. No, the MCP tool is the API. It becomes the new core building block for everything.
So what's the end game here? What does this all lead to? Well, it's all laying the groundwork for what people are calling an agent-ready internet. A web where AIs interacting with websites isn't some clunky workaround, but a native, built-in, first-class feature. If you want to understand just how big of a deal this could be, just think back to the early days of search engines. Websites had to start adding things like sitemaps and meta tags to become crawlable so that Google could find them. If they didn't do that, they were basically invisible.
And that leaves us with a huge question for the future. Just like websites had to become crawlable to be seen by search engines, will they now have to become agent callable to stay relevant at all? In a world where we use AI agents to book, to buy, to browse, a website that doesn't speak this new language might as well not exist. It is a fundamental shift, and we'll definitely be watching to see how it plays out.